When two Hollywood icons step into a courtroom, it's like watching a legendary rap battle unfold, each armed with their own persona.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint?
Yeah.
Each determined to deliver the performance of a lifetime. But this isn't about spitting rhymes on stage. It's about two star-crossed lives that began in the glare of the spotlight and spiraled into a legal showdown that has captivated millions. Johnny Depp, the chameleon of Hollywood. Johnny Depp's journey into stardom is as cinematic as the characters he portrays. Born into a modest background, Depp quickly discovered a passion for the arts. He burst onto the scene in the 1980s, carving out a niche as a charismatic, unconventional actor. With breakthrough roles in films like Edward Scissorhands and Pirates of the Caribbean, Depp transformed into a global icon. His ability to morph into eccentric characters has earned him a loyal fan base and cemented his reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile performers. Yet behind the glittering facade was a man whose personal life was as complex as the roles he played. Depp's rise was not without its hurdles, a series of tumultuous relationships, career setbacks, and personal demons that often spilled into the public eye. Despite these challenges, his resilience on and off the screen earned him a second wind when he was nearly written off by the industry. Even as he navigated through personal controversies and legal battles over the years, Depp continued to reinvent himself, never losing that signature spark that made him a favorite among audiences. Amber Heard, a star in her own right. Across the cinematic landscape, Amber Heard carved out a distinct identity as an actress with both grace and grit, rising to prominence with roles that showcased her strong, independent spirit. She quickly became a recognized face in Hollywood. Her portrayal of Mera in Aquaman wasn't just another role, it was a defining moment that marked her as a bankable action star, with the film raking in over $1 billion worldwide. Yet, much like her counterpart, Heard's personal life has been marred by its share of controversy. Before the storm of legal battles, Heard was known for her outspoken nature and advocacy for women's rights. Her early career was punctuated by a series of roles that highlighted her talent, but it was her fierce public persona and willingness to speak her truth that set her apart. However, this boldness would later become a double-edged sword when the narrative around her personal life started to intertwine with her on-screen image. As the media began scrutinizing every detail of her relationship with Johnny Depp, her career and her personal identity were thrust into an intense public debate. The romance, from set to private island. The story of Depp and Heard began on the set of The Rum Diary in 2009, a meeting that ignited a chemistry impossible to ignore. Initially, both were entangled in other relationships, but the undeniable spark between them quickly led to a clandestine romance. By 2012, the pair had become inseparable, a secret union that slowly morphed into an all-consuming affair. Their love story reached a fever pitch when, in 2015, they celebrated an intimate marriage ceremony on Depp's private island in the Bahamas, a picture-perfect moment that seemed to promise eternal passion. But as the saying goes, every perfect story has its dark side. Despite the idyllic beginnings, underlying tensions soon emerged. Whispers of disagreements, clashes over lifestyle choices, and the pressures of constant media attention began to take their toll. What started as a fairy tale romance soon turned into a relationship marked by volatility and, eventually, tragedy. By May 2016, the cracks were too deep to ignore. Heard filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, and both parties began accusing each other of domestic abuse. The descent into legal warfare. The divorce settlement, reportedly amounting to $7 million, with Heard pledging to donate it to charity, couldn't quell the storm raging beneath the surface. In December 2018, as the pain of their breakup became public, Heard penned an op-ed for the Washington Post. In that piece, she described her experiences of abuse and the harsh backlash for speaking out. Although Depp's name was never mentioned, the implications were clear. For Depp, whose reputation had already been tarnished by years of rumors and conflicting reports, the op-ed was the final straw. In March 2019, Depp filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Heard, setting the stage for a courtroom battle that would become one of the most scrutinized trials in recent history. What followed was a dramatic sequence of events where personal grievances, legal maneuvers, and public sentiment collided. Every testimony, every piece of evidence was broadcast to an audience that was glued to their screens, dissecting every word as if it were a verse in an epic rap battle. And if you love deep dives like this, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on our next video. Inside the courtroom, a high-stakes performance. The trial commenced on April 11th, 2022, in Fairfax County, Virginia, and spanned 6 intense weeks. In that courtroom, Depp and Heard transformed into performers on the world's largest stage, each determined to control the narrative of their shared history. Depp's legal team painted a picture of a man wronged by false allegations, arguing that the op-ed was a calculated attempt to destroy his career and reputation. At times, Depp even lightened the tension with humor, cracking jokes that would see him ribbing fellow actor Jason Momoa for his on-screen antics.
Mr. Momoa, so how do you know Amber?
We work together on Aquaman.
So you work together as actors, right?
No, as janitors.
Mr. Momoa, you have to take this serious.
As if to remind the jury and the public that he was still that charismatic, unflappable star. His remarks weren't just quips, they were strategic maneuvers designed to humanize him, to show that beneath the layers of celebrity and controversy, he was still just a man trying to reclaim his life. On the other side of the bench, Heard's defense maintained that her op-ed was an honest outpouring of her truth, a cathartic release of the pain she endured. Her team argued that the piece was protected by the First Amendment, a raw expression of her lived experience. However, despite her impassioned testimony, the evidence presented in court painted a complex picture that left the public divided. Social media exploded with reactions. Some celebrated Depp's vindication, while others decried the verdict as a setback for survivors of domestic abuse. Seamless transitions between testimonies revealed a trial where every moment was scrutinized. As witnesses recounted harrowing details of the relationship, the courtroom atmosphere shifted. 1 minute filled with tension, the next punctuated by moments of unexpected levity from Depp's side. These transitions underscored the surreal nature of the proceedings, a blend of high drama, emotional revelations, and the occasional offhand remark that reminded everyone that this was, in many ways, a performance under an unrelenting spotlight. Aftermath, new beginnings, and lingering echoes. When the jury finally delivered its verdict on June 1st, 2022, it was a mixed result. Depp was awarded $10.35 million in compensatory damages, while Heard walked away with $2 million from her counterclaim. Though the punitive damages were capped under Virginia law, the ruling sent shockwaves through Hollywood and ignited debates far beyond the courtroom. For Johnny Depp, the verdict represented more than just a legal win. It was a reclaiming of his narrative, a moment when he could finally say, "I've been through a storm, and I'm still standing." In the months that followed, Depp returned to the spotlight with renewed vigor. Whether it was his humorous banter on set or his candid comments comparing his ordeal to an over-the-top soap opera, he embraced his role as a survivor who refused to be defined by his past. Meanwhile, Amber Heard embarked on a journey of reinvention. Choosing to relocate to Spain, she sought solace away from the relentless scrutiny of Hollywood. Focused on her family and new film projects, Heard embraced a quieter life, one where she could channel her energy into her craft and her personal healing. Yet, even as she worked to rebuild her career, the echoes of the trial continued to reverberate. For many, the case remains a symbol of the complex interplay between celebrity, truth, and the power of public perception. Lessons from a high-stakes saga. What does the Depp versus Heard trial teach us? Beyond the legal jargon and courtroom drama lies a profound narrative about reputation, resilience, and the power of the media. In a world where every misstep is captured on camera and broadcast to millions, even the smallest slip can turn into a public spectacle. Both Depp and Heard experienced this phenomenon firsthand, each trying to rewrite their personal histories in real time. The trial forced a reckoning with uncomfortable questions. How do we separate art from the artist? What happens when private pain becomes a public performance? And in an era defined by social media, who truly holds the power to shape a narrative? For Depp, the courtroom became his stage, a place where he could use humor and authenticity to counter the onslaught of negative press. For Heard, it was a platform to share her story. Even if the result was a verdict that left many divided, Ultimately, this saga reminds us that life in the spotlight is a double-edged sword. The same energy that propels an artist to fame can also expose them to a level of scrutiny that is both unforgiving and relentless. The Depp versus Heard trial is not just a legal case, it's a mirror reflecting the complexities of modern celebrity, where every personal battle is played out on a global stage, and every performance is subject to the harshest critics of all, the court of public opinion. In the end, both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard continue their journeys, each learning, evolving, and striving to redefine themselves beyond the headlines. Their story is a stark reminder that in Hollywood, as on stage, the performance goes on, and the echoes of our past never truly fade away. Thank you for watching, and have an amazing day.